Hello. Hey guys, welcome. Let's see who is here. Okay, so all the testing is done. Um, let's start. So I'm in the folder here, and I'm going to create a new folder. Name weather app. Just put it here for shortcut reasons. So we have an empty folder, and what we are going to do is we are going to create a simple weather app, basically scratch in the React using React JS. And let's start. So I'm going to open the terminal, and let's open this folder in the terminal, right? New terminal tab. So first, I'm going to run the command npx create react app, and just name it app. It might take some time because it's installing the packages. You guys can do any kind of question in the live chat, and I will respond to it as quickly as I can whenever I see that in the box. Okay, we're done with. So let's navigate into that folder, and also open that folder. Yes, code. There's our app and the basic Node.js structure. Sorry, React.js structure. And I'm going to run npm start the application. Here we go. We have the application running. Okay, so let's get at it. We have all the code in the source folder, right? In the app.js. Main file is index.js, and it is rendering our component app.js, which is over here. And let's build our UI. So first of all, I'm just going to completely delete all this. And in the app.css, let's write all the code in app.css, right? That is good. So there we have CSS. Where is that? So first of all, let's give the app a simple background of one not the app body, right? And then we come here in the app and we give it the height of 100 vh just to test, right? And the background f, and then we give it a max width of for 80 pixels. That's right. And margin auto. And yes, I'm going to give it margin from top bottom 20 pixels. And we'll just remove it later, okay, when we have content, right? So border radius of 20 pixels or 30 20s. And yeah, that is really good. Okay, now let's build our first component. So let's add a folder here, components, and in that folder there will be our main widget over here at the top, and uh, that will be called main.js. I think that's good. So just importing React from React, and let's export this main component from here. Just return a single div with class name main, okay? And let's include that again in app.css. Let's write the CSS for that main, and I'm going to just simply reset all the CSS box sizing to border box. And what this does is it includes, let me, it includes the padding uh, into the calculation of, right? So when you say that this element's width is 80%, it includes the padding into that. And I'm also going to reset the padding and margin of everything. Right? We're not using any kind of framework right now. So let's do that manually. In the main, I'm going to give it the background of 111 and a height of 200 pixels. Okay, and let's use the, let's change this background, right? Bottom. Let's give that background a little bit bluish. That is good. So that background, and let's give it border radius top 5 pixels top right and 0 0, and I think that is 20, right? So more, we go. Now let's first see which API we are going to use. Okay, so that is come here, that is this API, weatherapi.com. You can create a free account and we can use that account to simply create our app. So in our app, we can simply use this API key that they provide us. Free plan is enough for us, right? They have these plans, and if we see it, it contains 1 million calls per month, and we can use that 3 day city and town weather, daily and hourly, search API, astronomy API. These are all. This is the many things that we're not using, but we only want this, right? So let's go to our API Explorer over here and what this can provide us. Okay, I'll have to copy this API key from here and go to API Explorer. So if I want the um, weather of London or any city or country, I'm going to type that here, Paris. And let's use HTTPS over here. And we're going to need JSON because we're working in the JSON in the JavaScript, right? That is easy to handle, not the XML. Over here, if I do show response in the current, this is the API call and it's made to this endpoint, right? And we have to provide the key with every request and a parameter named q in which the search field will go. Okay, so we get this response, right? We get this location object in here which says the name, region, country, latitude, longitude, and we have this current weather. Current weather is simply temperature in centigrades, temperature in Fahrenheit, and it's about the condition. This is the main thing that we need right now to display there, right? With the light rain icon code. We don't need this code, we just need text and icon. And we have all of the other information if we want to display that or not. That depends on us. So we have to simply make the call. So let's just copy this endpoint over here with the key. Okay. Um, put that right down there. So let's go back to our app.js, and over here we need to do the request to that API endpoint over here and fetch that data. So let's just do we will use the fetch from JavaScript, right? So we'll just do the fetch over here like this, and then we get the data, we convert that data into JSON object. We know that is JSON, but that is the string. This converts that into JSON object, and then we get that data and then we log it to a console to check that. And also we need to provide a query over here, so just like Paris, right? If we go to the console over here, let me just make it big. You guys can see that, right? So we have location and the current, right? um it has the condition, so we need to display that condition. I'll just down there, we need to display that condition over here right now. So let's just um pass that to the main component in the props. How we can do that? We will just write this as an HTML attribute named condition, and in there we simply need to pass this data. And how are we going to do that? We have to use the states over here. So we'll just create a state variable right now, okay, and give it a default of, and can do the false, right? So over here we say we give it the name current weather and set current weather. Now, if this is false, we need to say something like, we can do something like check the current weather, and if it is false, okay, we can do something like not current weather. This means that it is false, okay? So we can use the ternary operator over here, check the current weather. If we have the current weather, if it is not false, then display the main component. And if it is false, this means else. If it is false, we need to display loading, okay? So, so this will always display the loading because the current weather is always false. We are not changing that. And how can we change that? We can change that by using this second function. This is a method, okay? When we want to change the current weather, we need to call this. So here, after fetching the data, we call set current weather and pass it that data dot current, this object, right? And yeah, we pass it that, and then it loads. Okay, if I pass it 2 seconds later, this, just to show you guys, okay? So we are calling, I'm using set timeout to call this after 4 seconds. So for 4 seconds, let's reload this. So after 4 seconds, it will display the main. Okay. Now we have the main component rendered, and in the props over here, we need to pass the current weather dot condition. We need to say over here condition. Now in the main component, we fetch that condition by unwrapping, okay? This is the alternative if we get the props, and over here we say const condition equals to props.condition. Or we can do it like this, const condition, and unwrap that over here. This is another example. And or we can simply unwrap those props over here and get whatever we need. So we have those conditions over here. Now from those conditions, okay, this is being called too many times. So we need to stop that, okay? We need to stop this. This is what this is doing. It's some kind of loop, right? So whenever we call this set current weather, it re-renders this component, right? Reload. So when this re-renders this component, it again calls this fetch, and then it again changes the state. And when it changes the state, it then re-renders the component again, and this is a kind of loop, right? So we need to say that, okay, hey, load this once when this is false, and you do not need to load this again. So we simply, I need to close this pressure over here. So we need to use effect over here. What this will do, we can zoom it over here. So what this will do, it will just call this once when the component is loaded and set the current weather, and it will not call it again. Okay, we need to do this again over here, localhost 1000, and over here we see it's called too many times. So we need to pass the dependencies over here. And this is the array where we say, again, where we say whichever variable is being changed. So whenever some variable is changed, just run this. Okay, we can say like, here's a variable, okay, a state variable, something like changed and set changed. So we pass it default as false. So if we at any point we change this variable calling set changed and we set it to true and we pass that variable as a dependency over here, then this will be called. Then and only this will be called. This will not be called unless this variable is changed. We do not need to call it any time because we do not want this want to depend on this. Okay, this we want to call this only once the component is loaded, like only once. So you have to pass this empty array over here because we do not want to call this again and again. Now let's go over here and open that. Now this is not being called too many times. Okay, so if we see over here console.log rendering component, we go rendering component. So if we reload, first it rendered the component, right? Then it got the data later and it sets the current weather. Then when we set the weather using this method, it re-renders the component. But this time it does not call, it's not calling this fetch because we used the use effect and pass it an empty array that you do not need to call it again. Now we have got our data in the condition over here in the main component, right? So we say console.log condition and log that to check. Okay, I'm going to remove that and we need this. So let's see, reload. Over here we got the condition light rain and the icon. So down here, let's create another div named we can say something like icon here, or the condition, and in there we can output using curly braces the condition dot text. So and we got the condition over here in the black font. So let's just go and style this dot condition and let's make its font size like bigger and the color to FFF. And in the condition, I'm going to pass the padding of 20 pixels. And from the top bottom, we're gonna need 40 pixels. And the background of something like E. Let's is that over here. Let's, oops, that's an error. We need to write class name. Let's just give it the background of this. Okay, a teal look. So and the border radius or with that or like giving it again and again border radius, I'm just going to do the overflow, hide that. You do not give that border radius. And to this light rain, I'm just going to its color do something like that over here, 433, and font weight to bold. Okay. And down here, we need to show some icon and we can say is the text about um, the temperature and the other things like the location, right? The location that we're viewing currently right now. So in the main widget, I'm going to create another div named we can say something like the info, okay, or a location info. And we can simply do some like temperature over here, or pass that light rain down here, or we can do that above. Nothing to worry about. So we need to also pass the temperature, right? So we have our temperature over here, and we have a temperature in centigrade over here in temperature underscore C. So let's pass that temperature in current weather dot temp C. Here we get the temperature, right? And in the location info, we say, yeah, we write the temperature over here, and here we say like temperature now, and here we say temperature, and we use the sub tag like superscript and put an O here to create a degree, then C. So in the location info, and we got the temperature, and just wrap it in the, we're going to wrap it in some div location, and temperatures over here, and we're going to call another div over here, and we're going to call it like title, and in there we'll just get the location name, right? So we'll pass location. In the location we'll pass this, or we just need to know the name, right? And name and country. So we'll say something like we can simply pass the location, right? We can do we have the current, right? So let's create another state object for location. Well, let's just store everything in the weather, okay? And let's just store all the data in the weather, and over here we say const, say current and location, and unwrap that from current weather. And over here we say current. In the condition also we say current location, we pass the, there's an error, and it says okay, we just left that over here, and it says now cannot read properties of undefined current dot temp C. So we have our current object over here from the current weather, and need to get that, okay? So we only unwrap this when um when the data is not undefined, when we have fetched the data. So let's just simply um let's just pass it like not unwrapping, or yeah, let's just not unwrap that, okay? Okay, let me just report that comment. This is comment is Hemi. Okay, I'm just going to remove those comments. Okay, so we are unwrapping this when this data is not loaded. So I think it is good. So we create the location, that location, or we do current location. Let's just like, right, and call it false. And now let's just do current weather dot, and we do location. And over here at the bottom we say location, and call this location, and rename this to, and this to, and say weather whenever it is fast. And over here we also say, now this is good. So we are passing the location also right now, and in over here we say location, we need to display that name, and after that in a comma we need to also country. Sorry, here. Now let's also create a simple IV and call it icon, and going to use, so right now in the app.css I'm going to write some styles, location info, call it this X, and I'm going to wrap that. And the icon, I'm just going to, the info, I'm just going to give it the width of 30 pixels, and the location of 1, and give it the background of the, that is good. Now I'm going to remove the explicit height on the main. So let's just give it the more width to the icon, and also I'm going to give align items scratch, and the location I'm going to give adding top, bottom, left, right, and to this temperature and top temperature, let's just give it font size of 20 pixels, and to the location title text transform uppercase, yeah, that's right, and let's use it to. Now I think it's good if we move the temperature up above and the condition down here. So let's just name it, and name this, and I'll just change the classes over here. And right now we need to say light rain, give the light rain a little bit, increase the font size a little bit, okay, to I think 28 pixels, and title to font is 1 pixel, margin top 5 pixels. And at the right we also need to display icon, so we have that icon URL um, in the icon over here. We can say image source, and in the source we can do something like condition dot icon, and give it the alt of, I think rather icon, alt is on. And right now we remove the explicit width over here, And to the icon, we say display flags and align items center. Align this to center and give it the padding and the pixel size. And also to the um, location, we give it line items center flex. Flex direction would be, and justify will be center, and this flex dash dot. Now that is good. And in the temperature, we say something like 50. And we change the background to, that is good. Now let's add a search icon over here to change the change our location and search for any kind of any location, whichever weather we want, right? I'm going to remove this explicit width right now over here. We got this simple, a beautiful weather widget right now, and we are going to make it more advanceable and to be searchable. Like we can search any kind of location. So let's come over here, and what we do is we create another component over here and call it search.js and import React, and we export this component over here. Uh, I didn't export it as default, right? Export. Oh, here. And in the search, we say export default function search. And over here, we're just going to create a React fragment, not the React. Okay, a simple div, and let's create an icon, a simple icon. So for the icons, I'm just going to choose the free pick. Go to free pick. Okay, got a battery over here. To the free pick, we go and search for search icon like league icon, filter away icon, free icon. Lot of oh mm, yeah, let's use this one. We can use this one, also good. So download that icon, and I'll just add the attribution to the site in the video's description, so support them, right? And yeah, right now. So download this icon. You download. just copy here and create a new folder assets, and I'm just put that in the here so we can do that later. The PNG, and let's place this icon in the tab and public folder, and let's create a new folder icons in that folder icon and call it search. If we go over here in the public, in the icons, we got search.png, and let's simply in the main.js we put that search icon. So I'll just create a div or a button, and in that button I'll create an image tag in the source. We say icon, and we import that search icon from dot slash. We can import that also, and we can also simply put a URL here because we put that icon in the public, so we'll be able to access that. Okay, right, we got the icon, so we need to style it right now. I'm just going to give it class search button, or button dash search. Be good. So we need to give the main position relative and button dash search absolute from top 20 pixels, from right 20 pixels, and we also need to give it the width of 30 pixels and height, and we need to remove that default background, none, and the border, none. See where it go. It just disappeared. Where it is. And in the button dash search, we give this image width of 100%, and we are going to hit that image um, minus 30 degrees. That is good. This, no, it better, and I think it should be 45. And also need to give the cursor pointer, so we can say something like this. Okay, and on the hover, give it a background, not 111. No, let's just try it again. For radius, okay, I'm just reporting this user right now. So let's give it the border radius of 5 pixels and transition of 0.2 seconds here. That nice effect. That's not currently working because we give it the padding of pixel down, but no that. So we just increase the height and width. We just reduce this color, and uh, That is good, right? Let's why not give it the border radius and as also. So upon this clicking, we need to prepare. We need to like put this search bar over here, right? Um, yeah, let's design that search bar. So let's create a div and call it search bar, and whatever is in that search bar, we need to send that over here. So I'm just going to call this, put that search bar search component. So search bar is going to have a simple input of type text, and let's call that input here. Search bar. Search bar is going to have a background. Not that. Not need that right now. Let's just do search input. Give it the border radius of 20 pixels and padding border 1 pixel solid C display block width, and let's just simply give it search your, and let's just increase the font size to, now for the search bar, let's make its position absolute and give it from top, and let's just give it left and bottom. Let's just give the app position relative, so it kind of sticks to this border, right? Now going to let's give it as the index of something like 2, so it appears on top, and give it like right, it sticks to the right border, and give it the padding so it just kind of not like stretches out this is, so it sticks out. Yes, that is good. Now we just simply need to put a transition over here, right? And all this will be 2-second linear, or we can put ease in, and just we are going to transform this and translate it y, and like simply like I'm gonna do it 100% to hide this and like push it to the top at the back. So if I do 30%, it just goes up. At 10% it's over here, and at 20 over here, and no, not good. Should not be like that. Let's just use the top, okay? So we're going to say minus like 100 pixels, and if we say 20 pixels, it's gonna be there, so 100 pixels. So when this is here, let's just give it the top of 0 pixels, right? How are we going to place that active over here, right? So let's just pass a prop active, and um, in the class, we say classes. We give a simple string interpolation in the JavaScript and pass search bar, and over here we pass an expression. If active is true, then put active over here, else nothing. So when we pass the active prop over here, it's going to appear, and when we change that and we put it, or like put it false, this disappear. And it seems that Paris in France is going to be heavy rain showers, so that is laid over here right now. So we just need to simply mm, turn this down a notch because it's going to be crowded over here, and we don't want to like see the UI like this. So I'm just going to the condition in like 20, right? And now we need to show the search bar upon click on this icon. And this icon, we cannot see this current, right? Because we cannot do, because search bar is just all over this place. So we need to simply remove the, where is the search bar? Remove the bottom 0 pixel from here. We can simply access that. So let's simply come over here in the app.js, and we will have to provide a button over here, trigger to the button that says that makes the search bar active. Okay, so now we simply create a state, show search bar, okay, or search bar active, and make search bar active, that search bar, and in default it is false. We pass that, and over here we pass a hook, or something like a hook. Okay, that is a hook. Or we create our own action over here on search button click. Okay, and we pass in our own method, and in that method we say set search bar active to like simply toggle or true. Okay, make that true. We take that in the main over here as a prop, right? And we pass that on the on click, the on search button click. Now whenever we click on this search, that is going to be here. Now we need a simple cross button over here, icon over here, to disable the search, right? And now over here we say we create a button, and we go to pick cross on free. um we can put that, yeah, this one, go for download that, the in the weather app, the app, the source, and the source, put it out public, the weather app, don't have the public here in the icons and name it close. And over here we say class name close icon or close search icon. And there we say image source, and that is equal to slash icon slash close dot close search. So over here we see that icon a little big. Let's just copy those search bar button styles or the dot whatever it is called close search dash search dash close. Let me use that button dash search. That'll work. Yes, but that is also rotating that, right? So we do not need to rotate that, so we say button dash search dash close, and over here dot button dash search dash close transform one. Okay, that is being applied. Transform. Okay. We are transforming the image, right? We need to put this init that and that is. I think this icon is a little bit funky, so we need to find another icon. This will download. This the same. Yes. Search for a close icon over here. Yes, we got that one. Just replace that. Use this one and put it over here. Tap over here. See that new icon. Now, let's just search for locations. So if we go to our API over here, we have a search slash autocomplete function. So whatever we search like this and search, it gives us some autocomplete queries, right? So if we search something like on and we click on show response, it will give us some descriptions, something like with lat long and everything, and with IDs. So we can use this endpoint to call out the autocomplete API, and let's just copy this endpoint and hide that, and let's just on this on input change, we could go on change and we run this simple function. So what this says is this dot okay, we create a state object over here, okay, and that'll be called const and term, and we will say set term. Okay, let's import use state from React, and when we change that input, we simply set the term to this input value. So if term is not equal to this, we simply call out the search API, autocomplete API, okay? and put the term over here. We'll use JavaScript string interpolation tildes like this, and then we get the data and that into JSON, and then the console.log that data. So not equal. So in the console over here, I'm going to search for London. There we go. We got all those suggestions, right? So let's let's just put this in a use effect, and in the use effect we say whenever the term, this means whenever the term has changed, just call this fetch, right? So over here we say suggestions and set suggestions to use state. We'll use empty for right now, and whenever we fetch that data, we simply pass that data and save that in suggestion, and that data over here. Now we need to just simply build out this list, call it suggestions, and in the suggestions we create a list right here, and let's just create this as a separate component, right? Suggestions. Or we can simply create a suggestion component, and in there we can return the li, right? And we'll give a title over here, and yes, title is good. So and also an id over here, right? The props, I'm just going to unwrap those id, and now let's just simply output the title currently. Let's just loop from those suggestions dot map, and mapping from those suggestions we get that in the s, and we return the suggestion component, and in there we say s dot name. So simply go for long, there we go, with all the suggestions, right? Now we need to style those suggestions. So in the app.css, and we also need to pass on a key. So in the key, a unique something like id, we have that currently in over here. We pass that as .id, and in there we also pass an id. This is because React knows which component to update whenever we do something like changes, any kind of changes to the state. Okay, so come over here, and we'll do suggestions. I think I haven't given, yeah, we have suggestions ul. First of all, I'm going to give it list file none, and then a background of ff, and a border radius 20 pixels, and padding, and in those ul and li, and I'll just give it the max height percent. We can give it just about parent, or we can do 200 pixels, and we can go over so 10. That work? That's not work. That is work. So I'll give it the if I say, and that is also not working. And let's just give it absolute and margin top of those, or 5 pixel is good, and max height is 30. Let's give it max height and low y auto, and width of mm, just remove that position absolute. That is good. Max height or something like, I don't know. Mm, let's just um, let's give the li a padding cursor pointer, not the pointer because buttons over there. Use I'll have those, and that is good. So let's just create another div over here. Call it app inner. Put that in there, and let's go back to over here and give this um give these tiles app inner. Okay, and this did is it expanded, right? So we have an app inner inside the app. So currently we have the max width of 480 and give it 100%, not the colon, right? And let's give this the background. Yep. And let's go for the search bar. Okay, let's give bar down over the search bar. Where is the search? And we have the great search bar right now, but we don't have margins. We don't need the paddings, right? And we also gave it 100. We need to give 30, or we don't need to hide it, right? Don't need to hide it or give it absolute. Yep, that is also. And I don't think we also need this icon, so I'll just hide these. Let's just make it out. Well, I just changed my mind. So we currently also do not need to show the suggestions. There are no suggestions. So let's say suggestions dot length is, if it is greater than 0, then show the suggestions. So also we need to give the search bar. It's a search bar. Yes, margin bottom pixels, and this should valid. So for the suggestions, let's type something out. There you go. So we need to make these suggestions absolute, and we also need to give them the max height of 80, not 80, like 60. That is good. Overflow, let's make that back. And then our something like New York. Okay, we also need to, let's just, whenever we click on this location, we need to show that weather, right? So let's just come over here in the search, and let's also read the docs. In the current, we can provide a query parameter or something like, yeah, let's go to the docs and see real-time API, and we can provide anything like request. We can provide the key, query. A query can also contain the um, latitude and longitude like this, so we can also use, right? um let's see. So whenever we click on this suggestion, we need to make it a button. Okay, there we go, a button. That is a button now. So we need to style it, so to make it look better and good, a big, so everyone can click that. Display block, we need to remove that padding from here and make this one 100% in colon. So we do something like this, and we give it the font size of 15 pixels, padding of 5 pixels from top bottom, text align left, background none, border is going to be none, and let's give it the padding from top bottom 10 pixels. And whenever we hover over this button, give it the background of, that is good, and also cursor pointer. And also we need not to give the padding over here. Okay, we can give that padding over here or over here. Use that one too. Then on. So also we need to show, let's come over here and console log that those suggestions, the other suggestions, and in those suggestions we see that region. Okay, we need to also show that region. Let's just simply come over here and do region, and we show that region in in after comma in a small tag region, so everybody knows where this is from, right? And we pass that region here, like s dot, there we go, Vulcanville, Finsbury, St. Paul, anywhere, right? So let's just remove that. To remove that, we need to empty the suggestions. So if the term is empty, we need to set the suggestions to an empty array. Search, let's search Paris, London, right? And when we click on this, we need to get that search, get that data. So simply, mm, we pass an on click over here. So on place click and say on click, pass that on play here, and just make it good. Format that. That on place click, we say show weather of something like, okay, search weather, okay, location. Let's just pass a select location or pass the selected location. So let's just do something like selected location and pass the latitude, longitude of that location. Now in the app.js, we pass in selected location and we pass to latitude and longitude this method, and we say const search um, search location. That searched, that is going to be use state false, okay, or an empty array. So if that is searched, then we set that search location to the latitude and longitude, right? And we empty those suggestions also. So to set suggestions to empty. If I search for Paris, click on that, that goes away, and we see the Paris over here. And if we search for France or London or something like any other location, we see that weather over here. And how do we do that? Come over here and let's just replace this, okay, or simply replace this URL, okay? So if searched location dot length greater than 0, right? Say let URL equal to this, and leave URL like this. And over here we say if let's just use string interpolation here. Not here, okay, let's just that and come URL equal to, just use that URL and search location dot length is greater than 0, then just simply provide those longitude and latitude over here. Search location dot um okay, dot join with comma, and else we simply say, right, but but never use, right, we pass that URL over here. So we say London or Finsbury, loading the Finsbury, right? Check that happening. So this is the condition of London right now. Say Paris. So we also need to say we run this use effect whenever we want to set the change the location or something like that, okay? So or whenever user has searched, so whenever the search location has changed, run this again. Okay, so let's say London, get the London weather, and let's say India, Delhi, India, get that weather, and say New York. New York is, oh my god, minus 4.4 degrees. And if I say Pakistan, so that is our weather application for today, and I'm going to upload it to GitHub and give that link down there. Everybody can get the code, right? So, and let's use React weather app. I'll make this public, right? Create repo. I'll just use the command. So let's just do git init. Just use it, add this node, branch main that branch. So all good. You can simply run this app and clone this code. I'll just put that in the description, the video, and um, that's it for today, guys. I'll see ya in the next video. Okay, bye bye.